And I just wanted to, I guess, touch on this industry, um, the marine merchant industry specifically. So while I wait here on idle, there's obviously a conflict in the Middle East as usual. My entire life there's been a conflict in the Middle East, so it's nothing new. But one of the things that you can be involved in is transport to the Middle East. I mean, obviously, if there is a conflict, they need resources. How do they get that resources? We're the ones that provide it to them. So while I wait on idle, it's frustrating because I still don't know the ship. I don't know. I don't have a date. Hopefully that changes tomorrow, but we will find out. If not, I guess we'll be in the galley cleaning. But which I don't want to do because at that point, whatever. I feel like there's a blessing in this somewhere. Because as long as I don't have a ship or a boat, yes, it can be frustrating to just be in limbo waiting. But that also means I'm not being shipped to a part of the world that I'm sure my mom, my family don't want me to go. And friends, all of that. At the same time, I have to be honest with myself. I don't think any person would like willingly want to go unless it was for a specific reason, like they wanted to document it or they had that patriotic belief that they need to defend their country and stuff like that, which nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying it's not mine. I'm just saying that I'd prefer not to be the first wave, the second wave, nor the third, you know what I mean? But in this industry, you can be called to action. And if that's the thing that you have to do, that's just what you got to do. But because I don't have a ship, because I don't have a date, there has to be some kind of blessing in this to be seen. I was downstairs in the galley, and somebody was like, "Oh, you're on idle, so you should be happy." And it's like, yeah, I am, but I would prefer to know my ship. I'd prefer to know my date. I'd prefer to know when, why. You know, even if that's a month from now, at least I have an idea. I have like a deadline. And then maybe I can say, hey, can I go home or something? Maybe I can bring that up. I guess something to note in this video, generally, if your ship date is more than 2 weeks, then there's a possibility of you going home. But sometimes you don't find out till the 2 weeks is over, and then you find out it's like tomorrow, and it's like, I wish I would have just went home and waited the 2 weeks, you know? But yeah, again, we don't really know anything. And then while I was down there, she was talking to me. Another person chimed in, an upgrader actually, and she said, you know, there's a lot of people getting shipped off to the Middle East, so maybe it's a good thing you don't know. And I have to be honest, like, I'm grateful for her reminding me of the situation at hand. You know, we just kind of want to get out there and experience what we have to do, experience this new job, this new terrain that we're about to conquer. But ultimately, what are we doing it for cash, right? So essentially, I'm saying that I'm waiting for the cash to be shipped to the Middle East. It's not what I'm saying, but essentially that's kind of like what could be, what could happen. So I feel like at the end of the day, there's a blessing in this somewhere, and I just kind of wanted to share these thoughts. You know, this isn't a channel about the merchant marines. Yes, I'm talking about it because I'm at that phase in my life right now, but this is really just going to be my visual journal, and I'm inviting you along through the ups and downs of this. And if it helps a person become a merchant marines, hey, I'm going to do my best to let you know the steps that I took to get there. But at the end of the day, don't think that every content, all the content here is going to be like, well, what's the next merchant marines? How do we do? This isn't going to be about that. This is about my life. This is about my journey to getting through life. And again, like I said, this portion of it is just the time where I'm transitioning to be a merchant marine. So This is one of the realities you got to deal with when you are in the industry. It's funny, I waited all this time in my life to join this industry. I tried a bunch of different industries. I was manager of Verizon. I was in IT. I was in real estate. I did a lot. I did a lot. Sanitation, hospitality, photography, you name it. I've probably at least dipped my toe in that industry. I wanted to try a bunch of things out. And nothing ever called to me because, well, they were all 9 to 5-ish jobs, just packaged with different wrapping paper. You know what I mean? But they were all matrix like positions. And even with the freedom of being a photographer, there's that whole world, and it is what it is. I mean, I guess real estate had freedom too, but even that whole thing to me, we'll get to those videos later on. But yeah, I've tried a lot, and I just felt like this is the one that aligned with what I wanted to do outside of work. You know, they say, you know, find you an income where you don't feel like you're working, and you'll never work again. Or find an industry that you love and you'll never work again. Whatever the phrase is. I feel like this might be it, but with that, there's always pros and cons, and this is one of those cons. We're in a time of war, and of course, the day before I go on, like a week before we go on idle is when we started or 2 weeks before. I think it was February 28th, yeah. February 28th is when we did the first strike. I went on idle March 13th. So, yeah, it is what it is. But there's a blessing in there somewhere that I'm still here and not over there. So I'll take it for what it is. But either way, it's your boy Chris Jack, Canvas Nomad here. Hopefully, you know, you take away something from this journey that I'm about to go on, and I'm going to document it all. And if you've made it this far in the video and this far in the journey, you, my friend, I certainly appreciate it. I appreciate you. Peace.